Hey, it's Ron Onesti here, hanging with one of my buddies. And let me tell you something. This guy, the epitome of an artist who really captures the essence of Paul McCartney. Tony Kishman's been doing this for a long time. I want to talk a little bit about all the ways and the where the history of your history comes from, Tony. But I got to tell you, I am so excited. I'm a major Paul McCartney fan, like
Oh,
everybody. Loved Wings. Um, so first of all, how you doing? And it's so
I'm
good to
doing
see you.
good. Well, thank you. Yes, I'm doing great. It's really nice to speak with you today. This is going to be a lot of fun bringing the show there. It's really going to be a fun experience. I'm telling you.
So what can we expect? I mean, is there, obviously Beatles element. Are there any others or Wings element? Is there any Paul, John specific moments? Anything like that?
Well, I try to cover, and as if I'm in the audience, I'll say, if I'm going to sit in the audience, what would I want to see someone, such as myself play? And of course, I'm going to do a wide variety of Beatles hits, as well as, Wings. There's so many songs that we can choose from and that we have. And it's funny because I have like an entire master list that I'm putting together, and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, how are we going to start the show? How are we going to, veer into the middle of the show? I like to, have a nice dynamic. So we're doing real loud, big songs in the beginning or whatever, and then we do some really beautiful ballads and things. And if I look at it as if I'm in the audience and I'm a person that loves Paul and the Beatles or whatever, what can we get out of you? You know what I mean? So I'm certainly going to be doing Hey Jude. We know that's going to happen. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, it's just a thing of I like to do songs, and it's come down to this, Ron, of what Paul doesn't do live. I mean, he doesn't do Uncle Albert, so we know we got to do that one. And there's certain songs that are number one hits, big, beautiful songs, and that we cover with our keyboard player and our band. We cover these songs pretty well, and it's a lot of fun to bring that to the audience because they don't get a chance to hear those songs. So that's
Especially
really a
now.
nut. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it
especially
in a
now. And
nutshell.
you're
Yeah.
it's Paul's not I'm sure he's going to come out again at some point. We know he's still got that
Yeah,
vim and vigor, but until
sure.
he does, Tony Kishman is the one who really captures the essence of Paul McCartney.
uh,
What made you go down strictly the Paul McCartney, and why didn't you go down the John and the Ringo road for that matter? Why did you
right.
choose Paul in the first place?
Well, I started out 45 years ago, Ron, in Beatlemania. So I was the McCartney guy in that show. I was cast.
Mania was out 45 years ago.
And I hate to say it, but it started in 1977. And I
Wow.
started auditioning then, but I got the job in 78. So I won the role. We went right to Broadway, and then we toured. I went to Chicago at the Blackstone Theater for 6 months. And then when that show ran at the Blackstone, we went on tour all over the United States. And that brought us to about 1979. And then in 79, we came back to Chicago and played the Schubert Theater. And then after
Yeah, I
that,
remember that.
we toured again. We kept touring, ended up in London where I met George Martin, and he came to see us and this and that.
Wow.
But that was my introduction to doing Paul McCartney. And that's where I nearly met Paul in London. He was doing a show at the Wembley Arena, or yeah, the Wembley Arena. He was there 5 nights. We were guests. We got comps from his roadie, and the roadie said, "Whatever you do, don't think about even coming backstage because he doesn't have anybody come back." So at the end of the show, I had left early because I had a car rental, and so we were going to get out of there a little ahead of time to beat the 20,000 plus crowd. And when I got the next day, I saw the roadie, Dave, and he said, "Where did you guys go?" Paul came off stage and he said, "Tell those guys from Beatlemania to come on backstage. I'd love to meet them." So that's when I did the old Oh boy, you know, it was a real downer, you know. But that was my moment to meet Paul. But so anyway, but I kept doing Beatles shows after Beatlemania closed in '83, and I kept doing Beatles shows, Beatle productions, and when it came to about 2006, I decided why don't I do a Paul McCartney solo material thing? So I'd be doing, solo Wings, Beatles, and a whole different variety of whatever he's written, And I just kind of did that because I was getting more on in my life as you do,
Mhm.
and I just found it really different because not a lot of people are doing a Paul McCartney tribute. There's Beatle bands
Right.
that play everywhere. We all know that. And I was one of those guys doing the Beatle band thing for quite a long time. And on occasion, I still do. But
Well, we're
I love
I gotta
doing,
say, well, I gotta say the response has been incredible. I mean, you nail it. Well, you definitely look the part, but you
uh,
also, musically, it's not just the sound of Paul, but the
yeah,
bands that I mean, the band that you have backing you up, those musicians are
yeah,
unbelievable. They nail it. Oh, hang on for a second here.
yeah.
Sorry, that's a loud thing. Um, the musicians you have that backed you up are truly, I mean, incredible. It's such a true Paul McCartney experience, like none
Yeah.
other. It's going to be on September 30th at the Arcada Theater. I can't wait to show you the Arcada, and I can't wait to
Yes.
show our Arcada guest your show. Tony Kishman live on
I'm
stage with
looking.
his band. It's Live and Let Die, an amazing salute to Paul McCartney and Wings. We're gonna do that too, right?
Yeah, oh,
So
yeah.
Beatles, Wings,
Beatles and
everything,
Wings.
and
Yeah.
maybe a couple backstage behind the scenes stories as well. So Tony, thank you so much. It's coming up soon. See you in a few days. Everybody, you gotta check this out. If you're a Beatles fan, if you're a rock and roll fan, if you're a Paul, if you're a John fan, this is something you have to experience.
Yeah.
That's September 30th, Arcada Theater. Go to oshows.com. Thank you, brother. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Can't wait to meet you in person. Take care, Ron.